Oh, goodness, computers. Alright, hello. So, you're probably wondering, what's with the Google Docs? Where's all the pretty pictures? You said you were working on an animation. I am, but you see, this is not the kind of project that you want to Leroy Jenkins. You want to have a plan when you go in, and you don't want to ignore that plan. So, let's begin with understanding the plan. And understanding the beginning of the plan is, first of all, understanding how you're going to approach it, but also knowing what's going to come. Now, I can only do so much in terms of, like, knowing what I'm going to do because of this. I like to know all the rules before I break them, and this is, well, it's 2023 now, but it's only January. It's coming to the end of January, but I don't know when this is coming out. We can, of course, gleam on some things. I'd be like, oh, chica, or this, that, and the other thing. But it's like, a lot of this stuff with the current plan that I already had before I knew this was gonna be a thing, there's a good chance that a lot of this is going to be omitted, maybe touched upon very lightly, but in terms of what I have so far, not much. But I do want to know more about this character. She's the biggest reason why I'm kind of, like, not super committed to a certain storyline that I have so far. I do have a completely separate Google document dedicated to the script and other big notes that I have, but a lot of the things that we already know are just speculation, and therefore I can't really make an accurate assumption about anything. Well, assumptions aren't really accurate sometimes. But, let's begin with a plan. What we're going to do right now is we're going to be discussing things we need to keep track of, things we know, in all departments of what we're doing. So, let's begin. I'm just going to begin with Sun because she's on my mind right now. So, oh, hold on. I need to change the font. So, this is what we're doing in terms of notes for each character. So, one thing, I have gone into the game and I have played it, and I know I said that I was going to upload some footage, but I was going to, like, make a video about it, but the semester began, and the problem with that is not just the semester, but it didn't begin smoothly. It did not begin according to anyone's plan. There was a lot of snow, and that threw everyone off, and just things are just hella crazy right now. So I haven't really, it's been like a few weeks we haven't settled in, so I wasn't really able to make a plan as to what was going on. Lots of things were canceled, lots of things were delayed, it's just hell. It's hell over here. It's hell. It's a nightmare. So let's begin with what we know. I did what I meant to say. I went into the game and I got to the daycare, and it took me like about an hour because I was messing around with my stuff, but I did get to take a look at something, or listen to something that I've been meaning to look at, and that is, as a Foley artist, I have to keep this in mind, sound effects designer, the clicking sound. Jesus, okay, clicking sound. So, when you're listening to the daycare attendant, you may notice that they make this clicky sound, and it sounds like a winding gear constantly. Constantly, that is very audible. It's not like when you're around Freddy and the other animatronics, you just hear clunk, 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 but you don't hear it tick, 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 tick. And so, yeah, basically that means that they have a very different design in terms of how they work compared to the other animatronics, and of course they would. They serve a completely different purpose than the others. Excuse me for my sniffling. Oh god, it's so dusty around here. So we have a clicking sound. I think I already know of a way that I can make that sound. Oh, for goodness sakes. And that is, I have some saxophones. I'm going to use the saxophone octave key to perhaps make that clicking sound. I'm going to speed it up a bit so that I have an idea of how that's going to go. I'd unpack it right now, but I have a one that I can unpack right now. Let me pull that out real quick. It's not the main one I use, it's an older one, but I can just grab it real quick and show you what I mean. This is what it sounds like when I click the octave key. Well, this is not what it's... I forgot. You have to put the neck on in order for it to make that sound. The sound I'm looking for. Hold on. Okay. So... Wow, this one is not as clicky as my main one. So at least I know for a fact that I'm going to be using my main one. Goodness gracious, none of that went according to plan. But that's okay, that's life. We'll put it back into its spot. If I still had the metal slinky, I could probably make use of that somehow. Now I could. But, in terms of that, it is nothing about this so far is super graceful. So, we've got some design ideas in terms of sun, but there's another... Let's talk about something visual. I'm going to talk about Gregory real quick. So one thing that we know about Gregory is that he's homeless, right? He's homeless, he's most likely orphaned, he's just in a little cardboard box, all alone. I laughed at a meme when I thought of that, surely you know. So, one thing that I've noticed about Gregory is how, for a kid of that status, he looks very clean. You know what I mean? He looks very, like, his clothing looks new. And I don't know if there's a reason that's going to be revealed in this thing for that, but... It looks pretty well put together, so I'm thinking in terms of design, let me just specify something. Whatever, it's not in caps, but I can tell I don't have a light on my keyboard that can tell me. Okay, so that means he should probably be a little bit messy, a little messier, since he doesn't have the greatest resources available to him. And that's kind of like what I'm going for here with this project. I will be clear about this, is, and I know I'm going to do this. This is something that, like, not even the DLC will make me change my mind about this, because I want to explore this part of the character, so to speak. I want the premise to be he's actually not doing any of that looking for the missing kids sort of thing. And that what he's really doing is he's literally just trying to find food. And he hears about this place because all of the other places that he's gone to have started to, like, really, I'm not going to say hunt him down, but, like, be wary of him because they don't want little thieves running around. So what he's doing is he's going to this place with high security because that's his last shot, really. That's like the last place he can get something to eat and maybe something else as well. And then he gets caught in that mess. What's going on with the missing kids? I don't know yet. I don't even know if I'm going to include that detail yet. Like I said, I'm going to break a lot of rules. Why? Because I want to. Sometimes you just see a story and you're like, I'm kind of curious as to what it would happen if it went in this direction that I thought it was going to go into instead, and instead of going into the direction it actually went to, you know, stuff like that. Can you tell that, like, by the way I'm talking that I'm exhausted? Okay. We're going to be talking about Freddy now. I'm going to be talking about his design. I got all my thoughts organized, I swear to God. Okay. So, about Freddy, there is one thing about Freddy's design in Security Breach that I don't like, and that is he's not fat, okay? Look, he's a bear, alright? He's a bear, for Christ's sakes. He's a bear, and like all of his past designs were very rotund. They were rotund enough, like, look at FNAF 1. He is rotund. He's a round boy. All of them are round. I like that about them. And so I want him to be fat. I want him to be fat. And I also want him to be fluffy. Why? 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 Well, why wouldn't you want him to be fluffy? Like, you've got, when you look at real animatronics, right? you often see fluff. Like, look at Chuck E. Cheese. He's fluffy. He's fluffy. And I know that's it's not super accurate in terms of, like, oh, this animatronic, you're talking about stuff from, like, the 80s and the 2000s. Like, between the 80s and the 2000s, and Security Breach is set in, fuck if I know, sometime in the future, probably past the 2020s. Well, get this, I have a great idea. I don't care. And we're gonna make him fat and fluffy because I want him to be fat and fluffy. In fact, I wouldn't mind making him look more like a real bear. Like, look a bit more like a real bear. While, why? Why? Would I be taking away from the FNAF style? No, because that's Freddy fucking Fazbear. And you know what? If you look at a bunch of other animatronic bears, they do have that little hunch. And in fact, if you look at the art, like going back, let's talk about, okay. Let's talk about Monty. His design, he's got that hunch, you know, that gator hunch. I'm gonna call it the gator hunch. And that's kind of like what he has in actual official artwork. If you look at the artwork of like the cardboard cutouts and the wall art on everything, really. Everything, really. He looks more like a gator, but if you look at his animatronic self, it's like... looks more humanoid. It's like they're all based on the same mech. Oh, another thing. We're gonna call them mechs. Not endoskeletons. Because, here's a little fun fact. Real animatronic skeletons are called mechs, not endoskeletons. That is literally, endoskeleton is literally a Five Nights at Freddy's term. It's not a real term. They're called mechs. And I want to call them mechs. I want to call them mechs instead of endoskeletons, even though this is a Five Nights at Freddy's project. Why? I just feel better about it. I don't know. Mechs is easier to say than endoskeletons for me. Mechs is I don't know. Mechs just sounds cooler. Actually, it doesn't. It sounds because when you think of the term mechs, you think of like mech suits and stuff. But it's really just short for mechanisms. That's what it is. It's mechanisms. It's mechs. I don't know. I just want it to be that way. Oh, okay, now, so going off of what I said about Freddy and Monty, we're also going to do the same for Chica. Design. She's also going to be fat. She's going to be fat because, and, like, she's going to be like a round chicken, By the way, let me make it evidently clear. When I say fat, I don't mean it as an insult. I mean plus size. There's nothing wrong with the word fat. Unless you use that as an insult, then you're a jackass. Anyway, let's see. I've got all these. I really wish I could start making notes about, this character right here, in terms of, like, her personality and stuff. I can't do much, but I do know some things. I do know some things that I want to do, and I'm going to move her up around here. I'm just going to... Actually, I'll just organize, like, who I'm going to have what and where. I'm just going to refer to her as girl for now. I'm so sorry. Okay. I don't know what her personality is, and I don't know if this is going to be canon. Like, I might just coincidentally just perfectly describe her canon personality right here on complete accident. I probably won't. I don't have a history of doing that very well. But whatever it is, I want her to have a more innocent and less serious personality than Gregory. Whatever Gregory's personality is set as. Let me go make this very clear. So Gregory's personality is going to be serious, no messing around. This is pretty canon. That's pretty much how he is in canon. He has an objective. He's not fucking around. Usually. And the reason why is because I want Gregory to have that moment where he's reminded that he is a child and he should take a moment. He deserves a chance to be a child. You know, he should have a chance to play. And there's definitely going to be a scene or a few scenes, a few moments in which he does, just to drive it home. Like, oh yeah, this kid has had something stolen from him, and that's his childhood. How did he end up in this situation, you ask? I don't know. I don't know the precise details. All I know is that capitalism is a bitch, and that's about as far as I've gotten. And I've just noticed just now that my pop filter, my infamous pop filter. Are you serious? Okay. is like screwed on, like it's like a little tube for being adjusted, and then the head of it can be screwed off. Is this glued on? This looks like it's supposed to be glued on. Okay, I am going to twist that right back where it belongs, and I'm not going to touch that ever again. Jesus. Good thing I noticed that to fix it. Gracious. So, alright. So this is what we have. What do we want? Oh, I should make something very abundantly clear. Okay. I'm actually going to change this. Hold on. I'm going to change this to daycare attendant. Alright, so about the daycare attendant, I'm going to mark this as personality. So recently there was some stuff that came out about the encyclopedia, so to speak. And one thing that it said about the daycare attendant, it didn't really reveal much, if we're being honest, but I did notice that it did indeed confirm that the connection between Sun and Moon is that they have a sort of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde relationship. We are ignoring the fuck out of that. We are ignoring that. I don't want anything to do with that. That is not what we're rolling with here. What we're rolling with here, our Sun and Moon are the same person, same AI, same personality. For this project specifically, oh, that's not one cleaning the floor. So, we're gonna go with Sun and Moon are the same, I'm gonna say person, just because it's easier, running under two different sets of commands. Okay, so they're the same consciousness. They are just running two different sets of commands in terms of like how they work as an artificial intelligence. So like for example, Sun, when she's running, her priority is making sure that the kids are stimulated and are having fun and everybody gets what they need and everybody's happy, and Moon's responsibility is making sure that those sons of bitches are asleep. So that is, yeah. And also, what was I gonna do? I was just about to say something, and then it left me. Damn. Well. I'm gonna put it in an analogy and to say something until I remember what I was gonna say. So, like, put it this way. If you're having a conversation with Sun, and then, for whatever reason, she switches to Moon, you could still have he could still continue that conversation with you. He could still just be like, just keep going, like, I'm sorry, where were you were saying? Just had to switch modes real quick. Yes, okay. Oh, another thing. Okay. Why did I capitalize the D? Oh, whatever. Okay, so one thing I want to go for, this isn't really personality, this is more just like a trait or something that we know about the character, but I want the daycare attendant to be familiar with the girl. I want her to be like a regular at the daycare, like perhaps in the past, and or maybe she still goes to the daycare. Who who knows? Who knows? But, like, they used to know each other, or they do know each other at some point. So there is some familiarity. The girl is familiar with, okay, familiar with the Pizzaplex. And I'm just, like, and the daycare, just in case that isn't obvious from or the Megaplex, whatever the fuck. What is the difference between what? I legitimately don't know the difference between the Pizzaplex and the Megaplex. Are they the same thing? Are they synonymous? I don't know. I'm gonna have to look that up because I just realized that I don't know. And I don't know. I legitimately don't know. She's familiar with the place, basically. And Gregory is not familiar. Let me make that clear. Oh shit, wrong tab. He's not familiar. I can't wait to know your name. I can't wait to know your name. It's gonna make my life so much easier. It's probably gonna be something basic like, what's a girl's name that hasn't been used? And, like, I don't know. Anyway, I couldn't think of one. Amanda. I legit forgot something. I thought to myself, oh, that girl you knew from high school, and then I forgot her name. Hillary. Don't be Hillary. Anyway, where were we? Oh yeah, so Gregory is not familiar with the Pizzaplex. Meanwhile, the girl is. Why do we want this? It's a lot of bouncing off. I want Gregory and the girl to bounce off a lot in terms of, like, what their personalities are like. Like, they can learn something from each other. These opposites attracting in such a way so that when the story ends, they've both learned something from each other. I had this idea. Never mind. Because never mind. And I decided to just stop myself from telling you guys about it because, oh, don't tell me that canceled the capture. Okay, I don't think that canceled the capture, me just gleaning over it for a second. I think we're good. I didn't want to say it because I'm not sure. That's one of those ideas that I'm not 100% certain about, especially considering Ruin is coming at some point. The DLC, you know. Someone made a comment, or people have made a comment, that these red eyes up here look, they could belong to, like, Vanny or Moon, or there was another one. I don't remember what the other one was. There was another one that they said had red eyes, and I legitimately don't remember which one it was. What does that look like to you? I mean, like, Vanny's eyes are pretty close to each other. Moon's were, like... Were they? Am I just remembering Vanny wrong? Here's the thing. I want to look at, like, a lot of images as, like, a detail, but I don't want to look up images while I'm recording because I don't want to have to go through the process of censoring any image that somehow made it past, safe search, because you know damn well that there are plenty of images that sneak past that, and I just don't want to fucking deal with that. I just don't want to deal with that! I don't. Okay, one thing I am going to do, because I'm dyslexic as hell, is I'm going to bold these names. Oh, yeah, that's what we can talk about next. That's what we can talk about next, is the way that Freddy and the daycare attendant, I want to say they don't know each other. I want to say they don't know each other. Okay, I'm going to say... I'm going to put this down here, actually, just so that... Because it can go under both, and I don't want to have to bother putting them under both. So, we're abbreviating daycare attendant DC as, like, a nickname for them for when you don't know if they're presenting as Sun or Moon. So, Freddy and DC don't know each other personally. Whoops. Prior to their first meeting in the story, but they've heard about each other, about. Whoa, hello! Cannot talk and write at the same time. So Freddy and DC don't know each other personally prior to their first meeting in the story, but they've heard about each other. So they've probably heard some things about each other. Like, DC knows well that Freddy is the guy. He's the big man that, you know, he's the face of the company, but has never actually met him, because I can't think of a reason that, Freddy would ever go down to the daycare. Actually, while we're on that subject, so the daycare attendant has never left the daycare. And that time I didn't capitalize it, and I know it's going to piss somebody off because it's pissing me off, so I'm just going to capitalize it anyway. So I want to say that the daycare attendant has never actually left the daycare. I know in canon it says that Moon wanders around the daycare. I mean, not the daycare, the Pizzaplex, like, when the lights go out. But, you know, that sort of whole thing is, there are some things where it's like, when you're looking at a video game story, you have to ask yourself, okay, is this feature here, this concept of, like, let's say, the power going out every now and then to have it focus elsewhere, is that there as, like, a world-building thing, or is it literally just there for game design purposes? And I do full-heartedly believe, ignore me clicking my scissors, that, that is literally just there for game design purposes and to, like, challenge the player. That's not there for any world-building thing. Is it funny as hell if it was a world-building thing? If it was a world-building thing? Yeah, sure. I actually kind of want to establish, the Pizzaplex. I'm not going to write this down because it's like, should I? I don't know. It's not something I've, decided upon, like, I know I'm going to do this. This is one of those things where it's like, I'm not really sure yet if I want the Pizzaplex to be something that's like, oh, it actually is managed well and isn't, like, secretly crumbling up behind the scenes, and that one person had to make a 40-minute, or hour-long, whatever the hell it was, OSHA violation list. Part of me wants to watch that, but the other part of me is afraid I'm going to start pacing because of it. So, that is something I should watch to keep in mind of what I'm doing. When I find it, I have to find it. I want this place to be a little bit more well-established. Of course, the security is still shit because Gregory got in, and of course the whole thing with, Gregory and Girl got in. Yeah, this, fuck. I just realized I've been yakking on and on about this. I never, ever made it clear, that I want her to be, you know, the time that Gregory's in the Pizzaplex, I want her to appear at the same time, not after. This, like, fuck it. So she's in the Pizzaplex at the same time as Gregory's first appearance. And I'm gonna say she's met, well, what do you call that? She's met, not met she's. Currently the plan is she's met in the daycare. Why? You ask? Why? And the answer is, the history, no, she knows the daycare attendant, that's why. She knows the daycare attendant, and she ends up with them because they're familiar. That's really, I still have to, of course, like I said, I still need to, oh, this must have been pissing you off the entire time. We're still working on, like, how everybody got to where they are, because we still don't know what's going on with Ruin. Ruin, basically, at this point, it's less of, like, what happens in Ruin, and more of, like, what do we learn about the characters from Ruin? Like, what does Ruin tell us about Gregory and potentially Chica, potentially Moon or Vanny or whoever this is, and potentially and the girl. We're obviously gonna learn something about the girl. That goes without saying. Or anything else, anybody else, anything. Hello. So with that being said, what else is there for us? We should probably go back to how Freddy and the daycare attendant, or DC, are, like I said, they don't know each other personally prior to the first meeting in the story, but they've heard about each other. So what kind of impression that they have should be, like, pretty neutral, I think. It should be pretty neutral, but they've probably heard some dumb rumors about each other, because, like, oh, DC absolutely has heard some dumb rumors about everyone, actually. Like, because kids, you know, they don't have it. Number one, they don't have a filter. Number two, they see some wild shit. So God knows what they've said about Freddy and the others, and DC is just like, I have absolutely no idea if I should believe anything that they're saying, because I know that they're kids. Do I have access to a database that can confirm or deny anything that's said? No, I do not, because I am not very much a superior kind of entity around here. Oh, jeez. Oh, that's another thing. We're gonna start with, where's design? We're gonna go make a design tab for the daycare attendant, and I'm gonna say, actually, how do I word this? I'm gonna say in desperate need. Uh-oh, I don't know how to spell this word. This is one of those words that, did I get it? Damn it, I didn't get it. Okay, maintenance, I knew it. I fucking knew it. I wasn't sure, though. This is one of those words that, like, I can never remember how to spell. Okay, so this note right here, I never left a period at the end of them. This one is about the fact that, you know, when you see the wall art of the daycare attendant, they, first of all, they have eyes. The eyes, and you look at the plushies and they have pupils and irises and all of that, and then you actually meet the character, like the animatronic that is representing the character, and they don't got that. they don't have eyes or pupils or irises, really. So I like to think that like, there's some differences, and I like to think that it's just because they're in desperate need of maintenance and they've been neglected a bit. Okay. Has been neglected a bit. Why? Probably because, if I were to, like, say why, it's probably because the maintenance team has been really busy focusing on the staged animatronics because of all the crap that is happening with Vanny, and, you know, has been the things have been fucked with, and the fucked with things need to be addressed, and so they just kind of forgot about the daycare attendant for a minute, and then, like, something was wrong with the daycare attendant, but it's like, oh, you know, you gotta focus more on the big stars rather than the new guy or whatever. So I don't know. It's really complicated. You'd think that they'd focus more on a hands-on animatronic, but, you know, we need to have a little bit of bullshit in a world full of reason, but also a lot more reason in a world full of bullshit. So, like, you know, I don't expect every single decision to be made by that company to be perfect. That's a hilarious thing to say considering canon, I know, but I do want them to be a little bit more competent in this universe for... Not super competent, not like model business or anything like that, but just a little bit better, a little bit more, should I use the word believable? Convincing? The word convincing, would that be a good idea for this? Sure, why not? So, we're gonna say at first, because I do want her to get fixed. I would want them to get fixed. There is a point in which the issue is addressed. I would like that to be a thing that happens, because I made a nice-ass design, I think. I made a nice design, and I would like that to be used. One thing I will say about the daycare attendant that is making me scratch my head a bit, amongst 1,000 other things about them, but one thing is, if you look at the wall art of them, you'll notice that, like, they have, like, robotic features. For example, like, if you look at Sun's, she has, like, a joint. Like, if you look at where her elbow is, where her it's got like it has a joint, a visible like screw, where you can see the fucking joint, okay? And with that being said, it's like the other characters are the animatronics represent a fictional character, and those fictional characters like Freddy and Chica and Roxanne and Monty, they don't represent robotic characters. They're representing a character, and they are the animatronics representing that character. Got it? Okay, yeah. Meanwhile, the daycare attendant appears to be also representing a robotic character. It's like, what is it? What is the character they're representing? What is the character that they're representing? If they are, or are they just representing themselves? I don't know. Oh, I need a drink. Nor do I know what any of that means. Am I going to... That's going to be one of those things that's like, should I ignore that? Is it really important to know? It's not super important to know, but because, like, all of the characters address the fact that they are robots anyway, so... like, just Freddy's dialogue is just like, fuck the magic, I'm gonna ruin everything because I need to be real with this kid for a moment. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, like, he has a chest that opens up and has birthday cakes and gifts and whatnot, whatever Gregory is not supposed to be. You know what I mean? There's really not, like, it's being honest. That's a robot. But why is it in the wall art? I don't know. That's like one of those... I just don't know. I just don't know. I don't know how I'm going to address it, if at all. It's not super important to address, so we'll think about it. Okay. I just noticed that, like, one of the few... Oh. I'm going quiet because I'm debating if I should write this down, if I should tell you guys about it. It's one of those things about being a writer and wanting to be open and honest with your audience, but also, like, it's like, do I tell you guys about an idea I have for Vanny and Vanessa, or do I keep quiet about it? Okay, you know what? This is how I'm gonna put it. This is how I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna make another character tab here. Let's talk about fucking hell. Whoops. Okay, I meant to press caps. I accidentally pressed shift or control. I pressed a lot of things I was not supposed to press. And I'm gonna actually put this on the next page. Since if I was working on mobile, I'd probably move that back, but I'm not right now. I'm working on PC. So, one thing about Vanessa that I want to say. I want her to be more casual. And exhausted. Like, in canon, she is uptight, she is dead fucking serious about everything. She's freaking out. I want her to be casual and exhausted. Like, not careless, but she's not careless in a sense of like, oh god, I'm just gonna let this disaster happen. She's gonna be like, okay, another disaster, let's go. Kind of like that. And the reason why is because we're leaning on, though I have all of these notes that are being taking the characters pretty seriously, I do want it to be more comedy leaning in terms of a lot of things that are said and what happens in the story. Of course, there's going to be some sincere stuff, but like, I do want some silly funnies, you understand? And she's going to help contribute to that part of her. And I'm going to leave, I'm gonna make you get, I'm gonna alleviate, whatever the fuck, what's the word? I'm gonna make you feel a little bit better. Me saying this about, like, leaning towards comedy does not mean that I'm going to make the ending anticlimactic. I am going to take the villains pretty seriously, in terms of, like, how dangerous they are. But I'm not going to, like, let that get in the way of we're having fun, okay? That's a difficult balance. That's a difficult balance, but it can be done. So, that is where we're at with that. Okay. What else? I think this is a good start in terms of, like, where we're at so far. I know, I didn't make any notes about, Roxanne and DJ or, the staff bots or the wet floor signs or Vanny or Burn Trap. I didn't make any notes about those, like I did the others. I don't have much to say about them yet, so this is a good start. Oh, you might be wondering, why is it called TBC? That's currently because the name of the project right now, this is subjected to change because, I don't know, maybe I'll change my mind, or I'll think of a better name. It's currently called the Bunny's Code, because I can't think of anything else right now. So, I think this is a good starting point. This is a good starting point in terms of, like, what we know about the characters, themselves. About the story, yeah, we got, oh, I should write that down. I should write that down about Gregory. Went. Jesus. So, just wanted to remind myself that Gregory went to the Pizzaplex solely for food and probably other resources. Yeah, that's what I've got. Of course, the second I stop recording, I'm probably gonna remember something that I'm like, oh yeah, I should put that down. I should probably write that and then forget. Oh, well, hey, the last note I put about Gregory actually fixed the formatting. Cool. So, yeah, I think we're good with that for now. Oh, okay. I should say before I close off, I took an almost hour-long video of me just listening to the sound of the daycare attendant when she's wiggling around. So, it's like almost ASMR. I was having a really bad day, and I needed to just relax, and what I was doing in the video, but my mic was off, so you couldn't tell what I was doing, is I was actually, I was studying the sound, number one, and number two, I was studying the design and the movement and stuff like that, which is, I just happened to go to the daycare attendant first because that's arguably one of the most fascinating characters to me, but also because able to access very quickly, will not come towards me and attack me, so I know I can just analyze that. I know there's a bunch of cheat codes I could and should probably use, but I'm not good at that shit yet, so who knows what I'm gonna do. I'll probably upload that video, like that raw footage, later, so that you guys can see it too, I wanted to edit it together so that it was like just her constantly moving and it's like ASMR, but I'm sure somebody has already done that. So we're just going with the raw process here. There was also a point towards the end in which I started focusing on like how the sounds differ when she's doing different actions. So yeah, I'll probably upload that as well soon. It'll take a while though. I'm gonna make a playlist so that all this stuff is organized. I'm gonna make a playlist that's gonna feature some probably some like these kinds of things, maybe some gameplay bits, details I noticed. They could range anywhere from short videos to like short 3-minute videos to like longer videos of me just standing there doing the thing. I want to be open about the process, you know? More stuff like this, taking notes, probably some sketches, some work in progress, animations, storyboards, what's the other word? Animatics as well. And audio editing stuff. I'm really looking forward to that. And also, I don't have it on my taskbar right now, but I do have Dorico, so I can make a soundtrack and stuff like that. Listen to me. I know some of you are probably at some point, you know somebody who's working on one of those indie projects. I'm telling you right now, listen to me. Music, unless it is, you're basing the project around the music comes fucking last, okay? Don't hire that composer until you know for a fact that you're going to be doing the thing and you need the soundtrack, because we need to know what everything looks like and the timing of everything. Music is one of the very last things that comes, okay? Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. This is, of course, a long process. We're probably going to be seeing 25 down here someday. Alright, adios. Thank you.